hard core. So is it going to be the Shaker off? Is it going to be the Nature's Prophet core? It really depends.
The last pick, Venomancer, coming out from Arkan City now. Great teamfight potential from them. Overall, though, I've got to say, in terms of control, it does seem very lacking. I mean, we talked about the Brewmaster and how much he's able to do in these engagements, but overall, like, they've got 3 stuns if you count the Brewmaster split. Not the greatest stuns in the world, though. It's great for single pick-off, but when it comes to a team fight, you look at Team Secret, they've got the Earthshaker, who has 50 stuns himself. You've got the Monkey King with the Wukong's Command. You've got the Winter Wyvern, of course, has the Winter's Curse available to turn around a team fight. Like, overall, just with these 4 picks already from Secret, they just look a lot more strong.
They definitely do, right? As you mentioned, the teamfight potential for Achin is really not quite there. You do have the Venomancer, who does pump out a lot of magic damage early on. The Wraith King as well, who can do a lot of single target damage. The issue is, again, all their control is single target. Your best team fighter is probably the Brewmaster with all the disruptive spells he has, but all of those are also single targets, so there's no way for you to get a group of people under control fast, which means I expect Achin to really try to look for those single target pickoffs. If they're going to go for the team fights, make sure the Oracle at least roots a couple of people, so you do have some control, but I do kind of worry. We do see a lot of these games devolve to constant team fights into a tower, and when it does come down to that 5v5, Achin just doesn't have control.
Well, they bring up the Nisha special here with the Arc Warden from Team Secret, so again, I mean, they already had such a good team fight capability with the 4 heroes they picked up, but now with Nisha on that Arc Warden, I mean, he doesn't even need to be there. Like, he could just split push the whole time while the rest of Secret keep the side of Arkan City busy. Overall, as we talked about, Arkan City, they could pull off a massive upset here. Judging by the draft, though, doesn't really look that way yet. So, of course, we do have to wait it. We get into the game to see how they really do plan to pull all this off. Should be a fun match nonetheless, though.
Definitely is. You know, it's always explosive when you have something like the Wraith King. When you have the Arc Warden as well, that laning phase can be a bit funky. Just, you know, that mid matchup tends to be back and forth. So I'm looking forward to how this one unfolds. I do expect Achin to really try to push that early aggression. Right? They have heroes that do have massive spikes in the early to mid game, and I definitely think that they don't want to take this late, especially against Nisha's Arc Warden. It's just a really annoying hero to deal with later on, and I don't think Achin has the best tools to keep that hero in control. You know, on top of the fact that Team Secret does have that superior 5v5 and push.
Let's see how it all turns out. LeBron be on the front. This intro screen for his team. Nisha will do the same for the side of Secret. Posting 10 wins in a row on as Arc Warden. Very nice indeed. Get into it. Overall, before we really start the game, with this draft that Arkan City has, what do you feel like they really need to get done throughout any stage of the game to ensure they don't let Secret just take complete control?
I think they're gonna have to be hunting around a lot. They're gonna have to find opportunities where Secret is roaming alone, like one of their members out alone, whether it be a support or a core, you take that kill. So when that 5v5 does break out, they have a numbers disadvantage. Then you try to take objectives. You're gonna have to do this all the time. You don't want to take a direct 5v5 against Secret because, again, they have all the tools they want in the team fight. They have that Shaker, they have the Winter Wyvern, they have the Monkey King, they have the Arc Warden even. Whereas you really just have strong single target control. And they will keep that aggression up right now. They smoke up fairly fast, going on the hunt, but no one's up there up top.
Yeah, YapzOr actually just avoiding that smoke. Was up in that area, but fortunately for Arkan, quite get there in time. At the very least, they will probably be able to just secure themselves top bounty runes. Though Yazied does move in, does break the smoke, and, well, wants to get the hell out of there immediately, though they do have the Fortune's End. YapzOr has the Fissure to block, even if they want to engage, so it looks like they will just back off happily. Unless YapzOr plans to somehow swipe that bounty, it will be a 2-for-2 trade.
Yeah, and again, both sides shouldn't be too unhappy. I think if you are Achin Esports, you will feel a bit pressured. Again, they just want these gank trains to keep going, and wasting your first smoke like that to not really find anything. is a bit of a waste. This lineup does have to get that early game momentum going and ensure themselves a pretty good spot to be in before all these level 6s start coming out from Secret.
I love the fact that these heroes are just blocking each other's creeps rather than their own. Does look like Secret almost win out in the creep equilibrium war, though. Bron does get it his way in the end. Still, Radiant creep wave probably gonna eventually push out because of that tier 1 actually hitting up on the dire creeps just a bit. Funnick will join in down at the bot lane as well. Meanwhile, mid lane, Nisha is going to be on that Arc Warden, of course, up against DM on that Venomancer. Overall, I don't really see Nisha getting shot down in this mid lane at all.
It's really down to how the Venomancer skills up. If he goes for a Plague Ward-centric build, I don't think you're going to see Nisha feel pressure at all. If you do go for Venomous Gale, the potential is there. Like, that's a lot of damage early on. Arc Warden isn't the tankiest core. He's not the squishiest either, but the damage coming out from a Venomancer who does build up on Gale is massive. You will have to expend a support though. They will have to come down to ensure that kill, but you do have ways as the Venomancer here to kind of find that momentum. It does look like he will kind of focus up on the wards though, so it is just going to be a farm exchange here down mid.
Top lane, there was almost 2 instances of Arkham City heroes dying. In fact, Ignat, maybe South cancelled off, but did heal up most of the way. V-Tune almost falling very low as well, but the Fortune's End did hold the side of Secret back, getting that final damage off that they needed. Still, certainly not the best lane in the world here for the Radiant, but at the very least, V-Tune is ahead in farm. I mean, as it stands as well, looks like LeBron will find a first blood onto Puppey down a bot lane, but I was about to point out the fact that Zai is playing a Core Winter Wyvern. They're going to have a go again at V-Tune here on the Wraith King, and he will be able to back himself up safely. V-Tune almost going down again. The Splinter Blast just not enough in the end, but overall, what is the point of this Core Winter Wyvern?
It's been a while since I've seen this, of course. I mean, it farms out great in the laning phase. Splinter Blast just clears out waves quite nicely, applies a good amount of harass as well. Winter Wyvern does have pretty good range every time you pop that Arctic Burn, and she can get decent damage out with pretty smooth attack animations if you scale up properly. The issue is, of course, securing that farm. Hero just doesn't have great mobility and doesn't really have the greatest sustained damage. I mean, they are going though.
Yeah, Fisher will be there. V-Tune just trying to get out though. Ignat doesn't really have a chance. Puppey with the rotation on the Nature's Prophet, and now Zai will end up finding V-Tune on the Wraith King, and the Splinter Blast will get the job done. 2 heroes going down, and we talked about it in the draft, but this is why these Prophets are so strong. Meanwhile, Mid1 playing around with his life there down a bot lane, almost falling, but does turn around for the Jingu Mastery and bound the Strike proc. Does manage to survive in the end. In fact, he finds a regen himself as well.
Yeah, that's a great tool for him. He just gets to get back in lane, start last hitting again. Has a full mana pool, full HP pool, whereas Achin did expend quite a fair bit in trying to secure that kill, so he does have some room to play around with here, with that nice lucky rune spawn for him.
Well, back to this mid lane as well. Nisha just at the top of the last hits board right now, really not being contested at all. The gonna have a bit of trouble here with the flux being put on him by Nisha. Just spamming out the Plague Wards, trying to farm that way, but I mean, again, I do get very concerned here for the side of Arkan when you can't shut down this Arc Warden. He's going to be able to rush a Midas pretty darn fast.
Yeah, and it's going to be an issue. Arc Wardens we have seen do tend to snowball quite fast if they can hit their item timings. I mean, Nisha's already going to hit 6 in a fairly short time, and it just feels like DM has not applied pressure. When you go this kind of build on Veno, you really don't apply too much pressure anyway. It's really much more farm-centric. It does allow him to drop a ward, clear out a large camp over time, while he's also clearing out those lane creeps. But it just doesn't apply pressure onto Nisha, which means Nisha will find his item timings. He's going to find his Midas soon. He's going to find his temples double up online quite fast, and the farm just escalates for Arc Warden.
LeBron gets sniped by Mid1 on the Monkey King. Does manage to get the bounty rune at the very least for his team, but it's a 2v2 in the end anyway, and Mid one with that balance strike just connecting after the Sprout was about to wear off. B-Tune up at the top lane right now on the Wraith King, still doing a pretty darn good job considering the lane he's been in has been rather tough. Zai and YapzOr being very annoying on the Earthshaker and the Winter Wyvern. Though bot lane mid one will end up losing his life. LeBron does get some sweet revenge on that Brewmaster. Puppey, there really wasn't much he could do on that Nature's Prophet to help.
Yeah, and again, that's a pretty... I mean, it's a nice pick off to get. It's still fairly even for trade. You did die once, you take that Monkey King out again. The issue is that it does leave Auction locking in their supports down here at bot lane. I mean, you do want to see all of these rotations coming out from the heroes to really stack up that single target control, but when you commit on one lane, it just doesn't happen.
No way to get out of this. The Wraith is going to follow Deem. He's trying to survive with the Tango and the Fairy Fires, but it's not going to work out. YapzOr with a great rotation on the Earthshaker will ensure DM gets disabled just enough for Nisha to get the job done. That'll make it a 2 to 4, 6.5 minutes in. But more importantly, that net worth is really going to start swinging the way of the Dire. So bot lane, it looks like mid one. Going to get jumped on again. There will be a rotation coming out from YapzOr at the very least. He gets a Fisher off onto Funnick, but Funnick will be alright. He'll be out of range for mid one to actually go in and pursue that kill.
Again, they really are trying to get as much, you know, suppression onto mid one as possible. Now, Monkey Kings can farm up okay. They have slowed down mid one's farm by a fair bit, but I feel like the biggest issue here is, again, just going back to that mid lane, Nisha. They've given this guy everything he wants. Right now, DM has transitioned towards that jungle, which is fairly easy to do as the Venomancer with, you know, wards as your primary build. But they just haven't played the slowdown game on this Arc Warden, and their side lanes haven't won strongly enough to really make up for that, I feel. So we do have to watch out and see how much momentum they will carry into the mid game.
YapzOr setting up on Ignite right now. There was a Fortune's End coming out, but it won't matter. Now mid one may make a chase onto V-Tune, but looks like they will allow him to go down. Just being satisfied with the Oracle kill. Mid one will take the place of Zai in this top lane, so he wants to be able to secure some farm up on the Monkey King. Looks like Zai just went straight back to the fountain then. Puppey was in trouble bot lane. Nisha will TP in a Remnant to try and help out. In fact, he might just find a kill out of this because LeBron is falling rather low. Wraith Fire Blast will be there and the Wraith will follow Funnick instead. The TP from Puppey not being completed quite yet. And looks like that'll be it. Both heroes on the side of Archon very low down at the bot lane, but just not being finished off here.
That's a good try coming out from Secret, but not quite enough. I think the one thing that is working out for Auction right now is that Funnick is pretty farmed up on his Venge. They have really sacrificed LeBron on this Brewmaster for that, but Funnick is actually level 6, so he does have a bit more control in that swap.
Denied.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's like V-Tune gonna be going for a Midas build on the Wraith King, which does feel pretty standard these days on these Wraith Kings. Also be some TP rotations here from LeBron and Funnick. Smoke up, and the only person really there is YapzOr.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
They
attack.
may be able to find mid one, who's farming up in the jungle right now. Perhaps even just pursue the tier 1 top tower. Funnick will scout him out. Now the swap as well, though no stun yet. The mischief dodge was not there from mid one, and this should be a death for him, though. YapzOr does move back in, and now Zai comes in as well. They're going to try and turn this one around. Mid one with the boundless strike. Now the Winter's Curse as well. Just really well played here by the side of Secret. Even Nisha joining in. He wants to go after LeBron, and it looks like he might just even find him with the Wraiths and with the Flux, and they do eventually get the Brewmaster kill. He wasn't even close to level 6 yet for the Brewmaster split. Secret not losing mid one, finding himself a core pickoff.
They almost find Funnick up top as well. YapzOr is not giving up in this chase. You might actually see him.
And he knows he's around somewhere. In fact, there's the pings. He did spot him out for a second. Funnick now just trying to get himself out of here safely. He does have a TP, but he knows as soon as he uses it, he's going to get stunned up. But Fisher is there, though. Nice swap from Funnick, but it looks like mid one will come in to clean up the job. Magic Missile will come out, but it won't help the cause. Mid one will get rid of him with the boundless strike.
Yeah, again, just clean pickoffs coming out for Secret. Even when Achin does commit hard like that, they just don't manage to dish out the damage yet. And that's really down to how they vitamize and how they decided to go with their lanes. Just no damage you can expect really to come out when you have a Raid King who's going for the Midas. Sure, it makes sense. It gives you your EXP, which you want. Raid King doesn't really flash farm too well. He does have great jungling with that, with the creeps that he summons, but he needs a catch plan for sure.
Mid one tries to dodge the stun, but won't be successful in doing so. The YapzOr, nice Fisher, but the split is there anyway in mid one. He gets rooted in place. He's still making a run for it, but he has no hope of getting out. Now Nisha, he's another massive kill here for the side of Ark, and if he can find it, though Nisha still surviving. YapzOr has no way to really help out right now. In fact, he'll go in with the enchant totem, gets rid of Funnick. Now LeBron, he wants to get the hell out as well. Nisha somehow surviving throughout all this, so they've got to get rid of that Vengeful Spirit illusion, and it looks like they should be able to in time. Though LeBron, he came back in trying to go for the kill. He will lose his life in the process and will not get it anyway.
I mean, that's a really good takeout on mid one. The issue is you bleed so much back just to try to get Nisha. Not the easiest target. That's really down to Zai managing to teleport in right in time, managing to, again, keep Nisha up alive long enough and manage to get that nice turn, get the kills they want, and back off. So overall, that's a trade that I feel Secret should be very happy with once again. Sure, mid one is kind of slowing down by a fair bit. He's not looking great in terms of net worth right now. But at the same time, you are giving Nisha everything he wants. And when this Arc Warden is coming online, and it feels like he is actually quite online as is, I don't see Achin having the tools to really keep this guy in control.
B-Tune does go ahead and pick up the Midas.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Expect his farm to start escalating. In fact, it looks like he's going to go the Armlet into the Blink Dagger build. Very aggressive kind of build here on the Wraith King. And there might be a play up in Zai here at the top lane. So that Wraith does actually spot out Ignal, though they will be able to get the swap off anyway. Zai won't be able to survive this in time. Nice little pick there from the side of Arkham City. And with that, they'll probably just go ahead and pursue that tier 1 tower as well.
Should be a fairly straightforward tower to take. I don't think Secret will mind using that tier 1 at this point. I mean, all they had was really Zai, who just comes into farm there, but this is going to be a good tower pick off for Achin. Not the biggest loss for Secret, but that is some gold going their way, and that should help the cause just a bit. I really want to start seeing DM be a bit more active. He does have a Midas as well, which really just means that Achin is going for the slow game here, just trying to find some farm to go into that mid game, which means we're not going to see too much aggression going into that phase just yet.
A bit interesting there with the Venomous Gale, but we'll be able to survive. He may lose the Oracle though. If not, can he survive? Winter's Curse will be thrown out just to make sure he can't, but with the rotation there of the Wraith King, it's going to be enough to make them back off. And now the Brewmaster Split comes out as well. Straight onto Zai on that Winter Wyvern though. Nice fish from YapzOr. Now the Cold Embrace. It won't delay things long enough. Meanwhile, the Storm Spirit still making the chase and does find Nisha on the Arc Warden. It doesn't look like they're actually going to follow up on that though. They do go after the mid-tier 1 tower. Team Secret. I mean, that curse, perhaps just a bit greedy there from Zai. Though to be fair, he did buy space for that tier 1 bot tower to go down. But still, they might lose their tier 1 mid tower in the process. Nisha, he's going to be there to defend. And they go straight after V-Tune with those rates. Their Fate's Edict will basically dodge a lot of that magic damage coming out. And with that, they do protect the mid-tier 1 tower on the side of Secret. But essentially, Arkham City do the exact same thing.
Yeah, and again, that's a fairly even trade in terms of resources committed so far. I mean, you're not going to be too unhappy about the Zai loss anymore. He certainly is just there to try out the spells he wants, and once that's gone, you really don't mind too much. I'm rather surprised Secret is not forcing the issue with that tier 1 down mid. I think that's going to be an important piece of control to take away. While it's standing, you just have DM feeling quite free to farm his Ancients up, and in fact that entire jungle just feeling a bit too safe for Achin, so the pressure from Secret not quite there yet, as long as that tier 1 is standing.
Yes, go for me.
Veterans spawning up. Looks like YapzOr was able to snag 2 more for his team, so a 3-for-1 trade on those bounties. While mid lane still being pushed in by the remnant of Nisha. LeBron trying to be his best to defend, but he almost dies just to the remnant. In fact, he might if he's not careful. The Wraiths are there. LeBron, he walks in. The Nature's Prophet ultimate comes out. Puppey helps out with that mid kill. Now in the mid lane, they also find an Oracle, but he's on the wrong side of the fissure. Nevertheless, Nisha just trying to push in that tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, mid one got a bit too greedy there and does get swapped back in, but he has the Wukong's command. There's no follow-up DPS here from Arkan City to actually take him out. So Secret just continuing to pursue that tier 1 mid. Puppey now shows up as well, and it does just go down, though Arkan look like they want to actually engage here, but perhaps hesitating a bit too much. Once they see the tier 1 go down, they think better of it.
Yeah, and again, at the very least, Secret does manage to secure that pivotal piece of map control. I think I would have liked to see a bit more vision coming out to really monitor the jungles. Puppey still has his 2 wards, but should be dropped fairly soon. They go back to farming, which is a fair call to make, really. It's Secret's in no rush to end this game. They've got pretty good scalability into that late game, whereas Auction does feel like they have an upper limit, just how long they can last, and they do smoke up, sensing bit of pressure to get something done here.
Well, I suppose the Roshan would be a nice little steal from them if they could get it done, but Secret surely not going to be expecting this one. Yeah, I'm actually all chatting in the process, perhaps just trying to distract them a bit. And yeah, Secret, they just have no idea about this. No scans being thrown out, of course, it is just so early into the game. Really a nice steal here from Arkan City. So scan does come out in the end, but it is all too late. V-Tune now will go ahead and pick up the Aegis. That's going to mean 3 lives on the Wraith King. And with that, they do start setting up for that mid-tier 1 tower push.
Yeah, that should allow them to take this tower relatively quick. The HP is pretty low anyway, so it should be a straightforward push. We'll see how much Secret commits for the defense. They do have mid 1 standing there along with Nisha as well.
Well, they've got to make a decision here on Arkan City as well, because Puppey's been pushing in that bot lane and does find the tier 2 tower. They still haven't gotten that tier 1 mid, though, on Arkan. And it looks like they're not planning to either. They're just, Nisha's presence is a bit too scary. They don't see YapzOr on the map. And Puppey successfully did finish off that tier 2 just with the Treants. And, of course, that Necromonicon book. So, questionable there from the Radiant side, but again, this is Secret. They know how to play around, and when you have Puppey on that Prophet, it's always going to cost you to try and go for a push.
Definitely will. And Puppey is just split pushing quite well, of course. I mean, after that push down bot, he goes up top, try to apply some pressure there, and he's just all over this map, forcing Auction to really respond to protect their objectives, which means that they really can't commit. Like, they just backed off of that mid-tier 1. That's a tier 1. That's still standing. They had the Aegis. They had all the tools they want. And they don't go for it. It's rather strange, to say the least, but again, Secret is working this map quite well.
Well, they might have an opportunity to use it up at this top lane, though. Secret almost trying to bait them in with Puppey. It's like funny. Finally show himself up at the top lane, but Secret not going to force any kind of engagement here on the Venge. Like Puppey, again, going to be split pushing down that bot lane, just making them question their decision to even try pushing in that mid lane. And as it stands, if Puppey keeps doing this, he could literally just allow the Aegis to wear off. Because Arkan, if they keep hesitating to make that mid push, which it looks like they will have to do so, then it'll be a bit of a waste of an Aegis.
Definitely is, and again, Auction just wants that early aggression, but they're just not finding the openings they want to. They already have the blink on V-Tune as well, so he can jump in, start fights on his own terms. And even he's playing a bit too cautious here.
Well, he's going to go in now with the Skeletons, though they do get mostly cleared up here by mid 1 and YapzOr. Nisha with the Remnant, going on to LeBron. Meanwhile, it looks like Puppey was in a bit of danger, but V-Tune, who's he going on? They go after the Remnant, and now the tier 1 tower, though Deny was not there. I thought mid 1 got it in time, but apparently not. V-Tune does manage to take the tier 1 by himself. They will immediately rotate out of that lane. So I say that V-Tune actually getting caught out here by the side of Secret. He does have 3 lives, don't forget. That's one of them. The Reincarnate is now down. The mid 1, Boundless Strike. Wukong's command, not quite yet. That was the Primal Spirit being thrown out. And Arkan not interested in this team fight. pretty much every ultimate is available apart from Puppey's right now, so you can't blame them. But Puppey actually TPing in and then TPing straight out of there. Perhaps just changing his mind as to whether they pursue or not, kind of midway through the TP.
Yeah, and again, they just, yeah, at the very least, that Aegis does, no, not even an Aegis expended. They use that ultimate to take out that tier 1 and buy themselves a bit more space. I don't think this Aegis has any more left in it, though. It's probably going to be expiring fairly soon, which means that some caution should be in the mind of Achin now. And they do have V-Tune on the opposite side of the map, just farming up. It looks like they will take it slow again.
Thought they may have found mid one in the jungle, though. Not. Perhaps maybe walk past him here. See him jumping in the tree line. Ignat might just be the target. Mid one was thinking about it, but there's plenty of Radiant heroes to help out.
Costly.
Looks like mid one will just wait patiently in the tree and see if he can find himself a victim. Nisha, though, still basically farming. No problems here for him. Has the double minus, of course. Has the Mjolnir already up with the boots of travel. Of course, the same can be said for DM on that Venomancer. He's doing a fantastic job himself, but is it going to be as useful? Well, mid one bot lane going to go straight onto Ignat. The false promise being forced out immediately, and the Brewmaster split as well. Zai being chased down, but he'll be alright for the moment. Ignat, I can't say the same for him. He will lose his life, and now the curse will come out. It does land straight on that Venomancer, though they already found mid one on that Monkey King. Now they found Zai as well on the Winter Wyvern. He tries to go for the TP attempt, but that's going to be a double kill coming up from V-Tune. They didn't even use the Poison Nova throughout all that. It was just unnecessary. And the Aegis does just expire in V-Tune as well, so some great timing from them. It does allow Nisha to push in that top tier 1 tower, but
Radiant's top tower.
you feel like Arkan would probably still be okay with this.
Definitely so. They find a big pick-off in mid 1. They take out Zai as well. They manage to, you know, get some control back in that jungle by getting those D-wards that they did plant while they were in that area, so they've got some control back in the bot lane, and they managed to, again, slow down that progression from mid 1. They only trade away their Oracle, which really isn't too big of a deal, right? He did manage to cast all his spells there as well, so you really don't mind, and that does give Achin a bit more space to breathe in.
DM again, really just big in the farm, and look over the V-Tune as well, who doing a fantastic job on the Wraith King. Only problem is, you're going late game into an Arc Warden. I mean, we've seen this over and over again, and how much of a pest this Arc Warden can be. Make matters worse, of course, Nisha is at the top of the net worth board as expected on that Arc Warden, so I don't know about this one. The Butterfly as well, going to be the next item pickup here for Nisha. And this really seems to be not a great way for them to scout out and catch Nisha no matter what.
It certainly feels like they just can't quite lock in that Arc Warden right now. They just haven't had the opportunity to catch him out. I mean, Nisha has been playing fairly conservatively, really, not taking any massive risks. And it has been paying off. He's found some very good farm so far. As you mentioned, he's working towards that Butterfly as well, and once that's up, his push potential just shoots up massively, his damage shoots up as well. You start to face issues in Achin as well. I mean, right now it doesn't feel like they have the greatest burst anyway to kill him, but as this game goes on, he will get bigger and bigger, and I don't think you have the tools to really keep this guy in check.
To make matters worse for Arkan, YapzOr now has a full Aghanim Scepter up, but he didn't really have a way to initiate before, but now he definitely does. Of course, we've seen that Aghanim Scepter on these Earthshakers pay so much in dividends. See how it does go for YapzOr, but of course he's a pretty fantastic position for, so I'm sure things are going to go very well. Meanwhile, mid lane, LeBron will say hello to Zai. Looks like V-Tune is just completely set on this Wraith King to try and finish off that BKB before they try to go for any further team fights. Top lane, mid one. Gonna run into V-Tune here. Of course, the banner about to spawn up. So YapzOr is also there and ready with the Fisher. And everybody just kind of dancing around it right now. The mid one will run in and grab it. Now DM gonna be the target of Nisha's Remnant. No follow-up here from Secret. It looks like they were just happy picking that up. And you look at bot lane again. Look what Puppey's doing. He just continues to push this out and just punishing the side of Arkan for even thinking about going for that bounty rune. But they are looping around here on Funix, so they're trying to cut Puppey off. Doesn't have the TP available yet, and he was trying to run into a tree line that doesn't exist. V-Tune is going to be there as well. They get the stun off, and that'll be a very easy kill. 900 crit coming out from V-Tune to get the job done. Meanwhile, mid lane, however, mid one, thinking about jumping in. In fact, he just does by himself with the Wukong's command, and now YapzOr jumps in with the Echo. The false promise was there on the Brewmaster, and he does survive long enough to get the Brewmaster split off. Now they got the Cyclone off onto the Earthshaker as well. It looks like Nisha, though, did manage to find Ignite in the backlines, and now V-Tune jumping in after YapzOr. Meanwhile, bot lane, Puppey again just split pushing while all this is happening. YapzOr just buying time, and now the Winter's Curse as well. That Wraith King copying a lot of damage. Puppey is still going at the bot lane. He'll finally TP out of there, but he's left all his units behind to make sure they can get as much damage out as they can. And in the end, a buyback being forced out for Arkan, as well as losing almost that tier 3 tower. Just about 350 HP left on it. In fact, I say that Nisha, he'll just jump in and get the job done with his Remnant. They are going to lose this tier 3. That is a big loss for Arkan 26 minutes in.
It definitely is, right? And again, that's the power of Secret's draft, just the split push that comes out. In fact, the damage coming out from Nisha right now, even on his double, just really dropping DM low quite fast. Have to be careful in that defense, but that's the issue. They can play 4v5, Puppey just pushes, and on top of that, even after the fight breaks out, Nisha can send him his double to add some more damage as well. And there's just no good way of responding.
Puppey is being chased down. Does have the Lotus Orb. YapzOr is there in the Invis anyway. And Arkan City, I mean, look, they just tried to go for a quick smoke and perhaps pick off Puppey. Get that off their mind for a minute, but couldn't even find that, unfortunately. Secret, again, you look at that top lane. Nisha, he's pushing out the tier 2 tower. That's going to be the second outer tower left on the map here for the side of Arkan, and Puppey, he'll replace the Remnant. Meanwhile, mid one, apparently just fighting LeBron Dota. The mid lane just alone. Puppey will secure that tier 2, and the Roshan as well has now been started by Team Secret.
Yeah, I mean, there are ways of responding if you are Achin, but right now, without your Brewmaster, you're not really going to be going for this. They do buy back, so it looks like they want to contest.
Well, it's only the Remnant left in the Roshan pit. The rest of Secret just ready to engage outside of the pit first. The tier 3 at top lane, under siege here by the creeps. Like, as Puppey, do you even bother sticking around here? It's almost like you just go back up to the top lane, though. No, they jump in mid one. He sets up with the Boundless. False Promise is there from Ignite, though Winter's Curse will be put straight onto Funix on that Vengeful Spirit. And now YapzOr jumps in, has the Echo Flame, and connects on absolutely everybody. In fact, V-Tune jumped into it himself. There's a lot of heroes getting cleared out, but the buybacks are there from Arkan. Though can they burst down this Monkey King at least? The Cold Embrace will be there mid one. He'll survive, and Nisha will find a kill onto V-Tune. They finally get the Monkey, but is it even gonna matter? They'll get YapzOr as well. Secret looks like they'll probably be okay with this. They forced out a couple buybacks, they get a couple kills, and they'll back off to safety again.
Yeah, again, that does give them a bit more to work with now that those buybacks have been expended. Next time they do get a push going, and you know, it doesn't take long for that to happen with Puppey, they're not gonna have that option for the defense.
Nisha again in that mid lane, just pushing in with the Remnant, and there's just not much you can do about it. LeBron at least getting the deny off onto the tier 2, but at this point, Secret probably not going to care too much. They've already got an 8k net worth lead in this game anyway. That'll make it 11 to 16 now, 29 minutes into this game. And again, I asked the question, how do you shut down this Arc Warden if you're on the side of Arkan?
You've definitely kind of missed a window where you could have comfortably left Nisha alone. I mean, you know, comfortably shut down Nisha. At this point, he's way too big. You're gonna have to really throw everything you have at him. At the very least, you could do that because Nisha has not gone for any sort of defensive item. No BKB up yet, no Force Staff, no nothing. So if you do get the jump on him, you can burst him down with every single hero. You do have to throw quite a fair bit for that, but
They found Puppey up the top lane, though Zai is there with the Curse ready to go, and now the Fisher as well. Curse will be thrown out, mid one with the Boundless and jumps in as well, and with that, it looks like Arkan are going to lose a lot more than they intended to lose. DM trying to get out of there safely. Funnick will Glimmercape himself up, but he's lost DM already on that Venomancer. Funnick going for the sneaky TP play, and it looks like he will make it out in time, but what does it matter? You lost that core Veno. Like Secret going after LeBron. Boundless strike from mid one will stop the TP as well. The Brewmaster split will be forced out just to allow LeBron to get out of there safely. But Secret, they can just take a Roshan now.
Yeah, I mean, it's scouted out by the Panda, but it should be a fairly quick take that it doesn't really matter in the end. So Secret will be able to take this out, and again, having LeBron expend that split just to get himself out of there means it's not going to be up for the defense fight.
With that, Aegis and Cheese going the way of Nisha now. Daedalus as well being finished up on this Arc Warden. Man's basically almost 6-slotted. Be going for that Satanic next. Arkan will bring up the buyback status, and in fact, the only person that has buyback right now is going to be V-Tune on that Wraith King. LeBron does get stunned up by the Fisher, but will be out of range for them to engage. And now Nisha will get swapped in. Now this is the target they wanted, but Winter's Curse immediately comes out. Now the Wukong's command as well from mid one. This looks really bad for the side of Arkan. They're going to be able to take down at least Funnick, it seems. In fact, LeBron almost going down as well. Funnick loses his life. LeBron survives thanks to the false promise, but mid one will be able to go in and take out Ignat. In fact, that was YapzOr on the Earthshaker. The Rax is falling down rather quickly here for the side of Arkan. They get a buyback out onto Ignat. Aghanim Scepter as well being finished on DM on the Veno, but the Poison Nova hasn't been doing that much this game anyway. He'll jump in and use it straight off the bat. V-Tune is in the middle of all this with his BKB going after Zai, but he'll just call an Embrace, and V-Tune may lose his Reincarnate life. In fact, no, it's going to be DM. He does force stuff back into the fountain. And it looks like that Poison Nova is going to be enough so that Secret do back off to safety, because they are ticking very, very low here. Mid one actually being forced to eat the cheese as well, just to be able to survive. Meanwhile, Puppey down at the bot lane, trying to find another range Rax for his team. It looks like they will all group up and perhaps just go for another mid-tier 3 push.
I don't see them backing off. I mean, why would you? You still have the Aegis on Nisha, and he can push quite fast once again.
He'll get started. LeBron will go for the Brewmaster split. Who does he aim for, though? Currently nobody mid one. He'll just BKB up, and V-Tune's in trouble. Fisher will connect from YapzOr as well. It looks like Zai was the target, though they did get the Reincarnate life, and LeBron loses all the spirits from the Brewmaster split. Now you've only got 3 versus 5. No secondary life on the Wraith King. Can you ask, how do you defend this? Winter's Curse will be there, and now Wukong's command as well from mid one. Going straight after the Wraith King, though Echo Slam was with the bit. Mid one now will be turned on here by V-Tune, though he's going to stand his ground and try to man fight this. In fact, it's a close call, but the Cold Embrace will save the day. They're still going for more DM. He loses his life to Nisha on that Arc Warden, and now the tier 4 towers are going to be the target. I believe this is pretty much GG, John. Mega Creeps are there as well. Only 2 heroes to defend Secret from pushing in that Ancient. I don't see them being able to make a comeback now.
Yeah, they're going to try, though.
He's going to jump in by himself. YapzOr has the Fisher. And look at the damage from Nisha, though. Reincarnate life is gone. Nisha just TPing onto his own creep right in front of him. Just has the time to do so. And they will find the secondary life as well. Secret pulling off this game up against Arkham City. YapzOr going for even more underneath the fountain. Can they at least take him down? No, they cannot. The Lotus Orb will allow him to be protected from that swap. Team Secret, I mean, they were the favorites going into this. It was a very hard matchup for Arkham City. Of course, luck